to our next session of Day 3, United Economic Forum's Trade Summit 2025. And this is an honorable session. I'll tell you why. This session will feature the Consul Generals of the United Kingdom, Malaysia, Republic of Korea, and Australia, of course. And they will exchange perspectives on emerging opportunities in innovation, trade, technology, education, and investment. This high-level dialogue is designed to strengthen Tamil Nadu's global engagement by fostering direct interaction between government representatives, industry stakeholders, and institutional leaders. This session will also focus on deepening cross-border partnerships, enhancing industry-government collaboration, and identifying mutually beneficial avenues for sustainable growth. With distinguished diplomats sharing insights from their national ecosystems, the discussion will explore best practices, policy enablers, talent mobility, and areas for joint development that can unlock long-term impact. So this session has been rightly labeled as the Council General's Roundtable. So who are the distinguished dignitaries, the excellencies who are there with us? Before we introduce them, I would like to introduce our honorable moderator who will take us through this exciting session that we are looking forward to. So please allow me to introduce our honorable moderator who will be on the dais. Ms. Rehana Amir is a UK-based business leader with expertise in healthcare, technology, education, public policy, and governance. She made history as the first Indian-born woman elected as a common councillor in the 950-year-old City of London Corporation, serving 2 terms from 2017 to 2025. With over 30 years of global IT and management consulting experience, she has led major digital transformation programs and built strategic partnerships across the UK, Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. A strong advocate of AI-driven innovation, Ms. Rehana is the founder and CEO of Smart Healthcare, an AI-powered multi-specialty healthcare ecosystem, and the Smart Institute, a global center for AI-enabled education, skills, and research. She has previously served as Governor of East London NHS Foundation Trust and Trustee of Source University of London. She currently serves as Chair of the City of London Association, LCCI, Advisor to the Commonwealth Medical Association's AI and Digital Health Committee, and is an official member of the Forbes Business Council. She holds an MBA and studied public policy program at the University of Oxford. It's my proud privilege to request Ms. Rehana Amir, founder and CEO of Smart Healthcare, Chair, City of London Association, London Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and former Councillor, City of London Corporation. Ma'am, request you to take the dais and be the moderator for our session. It allows me great honor to welcome the respective excellencies from different countries. First, my request is for His Excellency Mr. Chong Nyun Kim, Consul General of the Republic of Korea in Chennai. I request our beloved UF members to please escort His Excellency onto the stage, sir. And as he's walking up, please allow me to introduce him. Sir, it's graduated from Economic Department of the Seoul National University in Korea and Graduate School of International Studies in Washington University in the US. With most of his service focused on economic issues in multilateral and bilateral relations, with over 20 years of service, he has an expertise and interest in economic and trade matters and hopes to contribute to strengthening ties of India and the Republic of Korea. He started his career in 1994 from the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy and joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade in 1998. He served at various diplomatic missions such as Korean Embassy in Japan, Romania, Indonesia, and the Korean Mission to ASEAN. In headquarters, he joined World WTO round and FTA negotiations with Chile, Japan, ASEAN, and others, and served as Director of the East Asian Division and Trade and Investment Promotion Division. In addition, he was seconded to the ASEAN Korea Center as Deputy Secretary General in 2018. After completing his duty as the Minister and Deputy Chief of Korean Mission to ASEAN in 2023, he took charge as the Consul General of the Republic of Korea in Chennai. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Mr. Chong Nyun Kim, Consul General of the Republic of Korea. Thank you, sir. Our next Excellency is His Excellency Mr. Sarvana Kumar Kumaravasagam, the Consulate General of Malaysia for South India in Chennai. Mr. Sarvana Kumar Kumaravasagam is a seasoned Malaysian diplomat with extensive experience across multiple government ministries. He holds a Bachelor of Science with honors from the University of Malaya, a Master of Science in Natural Resource Management from University Putra, Malaysia, and a Diploma in Public Sector Management from the National Public Administration Institute of Malaysia. Joining the Malaysian Diplomatic and Administrative Service in 2002, he has served in key roles within the Ministry of Science, Technology and Environment, the Ministry of Plantation Industries and Commodities, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. His expertise spans across international trade and environmental policy, bilateral diplomacy, ASEAN regional organizations, and multilateral engagements on human rights. He has served abroad as Minister, Counselor, and Deputy Head of Mission at the Embassy of Malaysia in Laos. He currently serves as the Consul General of Malaysia for South India, based in Chennai, strengthening Malaysia's diplomatic and economic ties with the region. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Mr. Sarvana Kumaravasagam, Consulate General of Malaysia for South India in Chennai. Our next panelist is Mr. Kamran Khan, Head, India, Department of State Development, Government of South Australia, Australian Consulate General, Chennai. With over a decade and a half of experience, he's deeply passionate about fostering strong, mutually beneficial relationships between Australia and India. His career has been dedicated to bridging these two nations, focusing on international trade and economic development. As head of India for the Department of State Development, South Australia, he's committed to expanding trade and investment opportunities, leveraging his deep understanding of the Indian market and specific needs of the South Australian government. His previous role as Senior Director for Austrad in South Asia allowed him to lead critical projects that reinforce the strategic ties between the two countries. He is driven by a commitment to building lasting partnerships that drive prosperity and growth for both Australia and India. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kamran Khan, Head, India, Department of State Development, Government of South Australia, Australian Consulate General, Chennai. A big round of applause to all of our honored and distinguished panelists. Over to you, ma'am, to take the session and run it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tausif. So before we could start with the panel discussions, I thought it would be a good opportunity to just have a quick recap about the three impactful days that we've been having. And that leads very beautifully into the conversations that we are going to have with our Consul Generals. So a warm welcome, Your Excellencies. Such a privilege to have you all here, and thank you for giving us your time on a Sunday afternoon. So thank you for that. Okay. So Assalamu alaikum and good evening to Your Excellencies, honorable dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. Before I begin, I want to share something very personal. First, I want to sincerely thank the leadership team of UEF for placing women's participation at the heart of this summit, not as a symbolic gesture, but as a recognition that women are essential contributors to enterprise, innovation, and economic leadership. It truly feels like we women have a place now in our own home where we are welcomed, respected, and valued. Thank you to all you wonderful men out there for sharing and empowering that space for us. Second, I'm delighted to see the launch of the UEF Business Fund because this represents a shift from conversation to action. We often talk about learning from experience, but we learn just as much from the younger generation. 17 years ago, both my children, who were 10 and 12 at that time, said something beautifully simple. Teach a man how to fish and he can feed himself, not only for his family, but for his community. That is exactly what the UEF platform is doing, building capability, access, and confidence, so growth becomes sustainable and shared. Over the last 3 days, we have heard powerful insights from policy leaders, industry veterans, and global voices, yet many of you came to me and asked a very simple and honest question. This is inspiring, but how does this apply to me, to my business, to my reality? And that is why this moment matters. Instead of adding another expert opinion, I want to just connect the dots simply and practically. What I will share today now applies equally to MSMEs, family businesses, startups, professionals, and large institutions. This is not just about raising capital first, but capital comes last. This is about unlocking capability, it is about solving real problems, and it is about accessing growth, step by step. I believe in takeaways. This summit has given me 3 immediate actions which I'm sure, like me, you all would sit tomorrow with your teams, tomorrow morning, and begin working on, and I'm sharing those three with you now. So let's begin by exploring the core themes and opportunities shaping the 4 trillion landscape and how existing businesses can tap into it effectively. So this slide is just a recap of what our visionary leader, Brother Ahmed Buhari, our president, had outlaid for us as the theme for this UEF summit today. So I don't need to go in detail, but I would ask your attention to see the last two lines. This mission can be achieved only through capability, collaboration, and markets, and this is a people-powered economic mission. Scale comes when ambition is shared, not siloed. So that's the key takeaway for me and for all of us, I would say. And going into the next recap or an action for us. So there's been a heavy emphasis on educational institutions for us in the last 3 days and of course the theme paper as such. But how do we put that into action? And if you see I've just proposed 2 simple models based on my little experience of life. I see there are 2 simple models. One is the partnership model, and if you could see industry plus institution is equal to problem and then solution, and then the outcome is revenue. And in fact, in the previous session, I heard Brother Umar mentioning about problem solving, and I think this is something it's a very key takeaway. And how do we collaborate with our academic institutions to solve our everyday problems? And this, when combined, so if there are 45 institutions, 50 local businesses, 50 problems, and there's been a small fees charged for it, and I'm sure this opportunity is there now for all the 45 institutions for you to see a revenue of at least an aggregated total revenue of 45 crores. This is something on the table. You get this today as you finish the summit. And similarly, as the theme of the summit is of we creating 45 institutions with 100 startups each, leading to 4,500 startups with over 450,000 jobs being created. But if you see again the last point, the takeaway on this is when campuses solve local problems, education becomes an economic engine. And this is something I think been a very powerful takeaway for me. And of course, I'm sure many of us here would agree to this. And how do we, this is something always I get asked, not only in the summit, but wherever I go. How do existing businesses scale faster? And when we think of it, we always think capital is the first requirement for me to scale or for me to take our business into different new markets. But I would ask your attention here to just pause for a moment and think. The capability is within ourselves, within our organizations. And how do we do that? I mean, if you can just see the various aspects of the wheel here, you have to analyze your skills capability, your process improvement, your data-driven decisions, then the market access of exports, and then capital comes last. And when you work on your internal process efficiency, you would easily get a 10 to 15% margin uplift, and that brings you the immediate 2 to 3x scale for your businesses immediately. So out of this summit, I would say there's a lot of learning that we heard from all of our eminent speakers, and they've given us different ideas how to improve our process efficiency, be it on, and today we have a number of AI tools that would help us to help improve the process efficiency. And this is just an example I've given you, which I'm sure, maybe if you would like to take a photo of it, you could definitely, and then perhaps that can be as a good reading for you back home, or perhaps tomorrow first meeting with your team. And last, the future. So I heard a number of speakers over the 3 days talking about the new opportunities that are available. So I just wanted to emphasize, in fact, Zeba in the previous session had as well mentioned about this. So the old economy, which we all know as our family businesses, our focus is on assets, volume, ownership. But if you see the value shifting now, the new economy, it is from ownership to access and from volume to value. And the new economy opportunities I've just listed there, I don't want to go through in each of those, I'm sure they are quite self-explanatory. But if you see, most new opportunities are asset-light and data-driven, and I think this is something the previous speaker also emphasized. The future will reward thinkers, problem solvers, and innovators before it rewards investors. And this now sets the tone for us for our panel discussion, the global opportunities. The key agreements which are already there relevant for Tamil Nadu, which be with Australia, we have the CECA agreements, and with South Korea we have the CEPA agreements, and with Malaysia we have the CECA agreements, of course the ASEAN countries, and again India with the recent UKFTA. So with this context, I would like to now go back to my panel discussion to hear from the experts who are representing these fabulous three countries, who are a hub of trade, who are a hub of tremendous opportunities for us. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of takeaways from you, Your Excellencies, for us to understand how we can start trade with your countries between Tamil Nadu and the three countries. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. I am Consul General of Korea. I have been here more than 2 years and visited a lot of cities and have met a lot of Tamil Nadu people. I came to understand that I'm a leader. If I speak on this question, I think 4 trillion for Tamil Nadu is very good ambition, easy to understand, but it's not easy to come true. Because I calculated how much higher percentage of economic growth for 20 years. But anyway, having that kind of big dream, vision is very good. Korean, thank you. As you know, Korea has a big business presence in Tamil Nadu, including Hyundai Motors India and Samsung. We have a lot of other companies in neighboring states, such as LG Electronics, Kia Motors. So I think Korean companies has contributed for the economic growth of Tamil Nadu and trying to continue this kind of cooperation in the future. So another good news we have seen last week, early this week, last week, was the announcement of Hyundai Shipbuilding Company to build a shipyard in Thoothukudi. The investment is about 2 billion US dollar. I think it's a big milestone for our economic cooperation. So another one for the Korea's contribution to have a good relationship with India is our company's effort to localize. Hyundai Motors India and LG Electronics successfully launched its IPO in Indian stock market to be a local company, to grow together with Indian partner. So Korea will continue this kind of cooperation. I have been in the diplomatic world quite long years. Based on my expertise in economics, I came to conclusion, in order to achieve long-term economic success in one country, I think 3 elements are very important. One is the leadership, governance issue. Having a good governance with the visionary leadership is very important. And second thing is individual. Having a good human resources in one society to educate their children very honestly, and also there's a way to move to the higher class with the better education, then make a better skilled workforces and better management level people. And the second thing is also very important. But third one is a system issue. So how to solve the problem with the collective power? How to change the society in a more efficient way? Deregulation and get rid of bureaucracy, get rid of corruption, and how to work together as a one team. Yeah. you need to, I think many countries need to pursue unity based on diversity, not pursue my difference concept. So that's my conclusion. So in that sense, Tamil Nadu is the front runner of the India, and I will see a good thing will happen in Tamil Nadu. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. I think those were really profound words. And what I could say, all of the three aspects which you mentioned about the people, governance, and the talent, I think Tamil Nadu is a powerhouse for all of those things. And I think that positions us very well to invite such kind of investment into the country. And I think that in itself speaks volume. And it gives us encouragement that I think the ambition that we have put for the 4 trillion economy looks doable. So on that note, I would like to move on to you, Kumar, on the Malaysia side. So our aspiration of 4 trillion USD economy for Tamil Nadu by 2047 will depend on how effectively our MSMEs integrate into global supply chains, not just large investments, including opportunities for skills development, to develop the next talent force with projects like Petronas Rapid and Malaysia's broader industrial ecosystem. Where do you see the most scalable opportunities for Tamil Nadu, MSMEs and large organizations to participate, and how can such partnerships meaningfully contribute to this ambition?
Thank you, Madam. Good afternoon. I'd like to first of all wish the organizer for putting up this such a meaningful event at the right juncture, I guess, because we can see in Tamil Nadu, as I read a few days ago, Tamil Nadu in terms of industrial growth, the CM, Chief Minister has indicated that on all the 4 fronts, they are the leading states among the states in India. And this is very good news, and for the past years, I've been posted here, and I'm seeing all the developments happening in the industrialization process, the growth of in the manufacturing sector, the services, of course, the IT sector, we don't have to mention, is a powerhouse by itself, Tamil Nadu. We can see the OMR area, I visited, and then brought Malaysian companies to have look at the opportunities over there. I work with renowned companies over there in the IT industry. Looking at the question posted to me on how we can contribute towards the vision of this event, that is how to contribute to the 4 trillion economy for Tamil Nadu by 2047. It's an interesting aspect, as what Korean CG just now said. It's a very big ambition, and the goal. But setting the goal is very important. That all of us can work together and achieve towards a direction. That's what is needed, and that is a visionary concept. Where through this forum, perhaps some good outcomes will come, and the government. The state government could pick up some elements from here and incorporate into the policies. And on touching on that, yesterday I did listen to what one of the state minister, Mr. PTR, was saying, that to achieve that, Tamil Nadu need to grow at least 9% annually towards that direction. And so these are the figures, being visualized and being put forward. So these are very good indications that something tangible is being put on the table and working towards a meaningful cause. On that aspects, as we look at Malaysia, actually currently, we have a very interesting government there, headed by Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim. So our government is actually guided by a concept called Malaysia Madani, which stands out to be sustainable Malaysia. So anchored along this Malaysia Madani is a 6 core values, that is sustainability, care and compassion, respect, innovation, prosperity and trust. So these values are not abstract ideals, they are translated in concrete reforms shaping Malaysia's business environment and international partnership. On that note, Malaysia has already launched the 13th Malaysia Plan this year. That plan will occupy from 2026 to 2030, next 5 years. So under that concept, we have the key pillars that is visualized under this 13th Malaysia Plan, that is digitalization, governance reform, talent mobility, and targeted investment incentives. On that note, when it comes to concept of digitalization, of course, Malaysia is very big in the semiconductor and also electronics. So when you compare the trade that is currently, the trade nature between specifically in Tamil Nadu and generally India, most of the item that is we look at the bilateral trade is mainly on agriculture products, that is touching. The biggest is palm oil, next is petroleum products, and third is electronic sector. So these are the main feature of the bilateral trade between that. If we look at that, of course the MSME sector is working closely on this area, but looking at areas like digitalization, I've come across many interests in Tamil Nadu among MSME that would like to work along this electronic supply chain that Malaysia is very matured in that sector for the past 40 years, and also the ecosystem for semiconductor industry. So these are some of the areas, MSME from both sides. Of course, India is a giant in that sense. Malaysia is a mid-sized economy. But we have certain advantages that I foresee from my experience when dealing with industries here. They can harness on this know-how from Malaysia and how to put it along the manufacturing sector, especially semiconductor and electronic sector. This is a very important aspect that I'm looking at or could project in the next few years, that from agriculture and petroleum related products, we could be moving towards big on this MSME sector, which is relating to semiconductor ecosystem and electronics. So already there are many companies from Malaysia and Indian companies on Tamil Nadu itself, from B2B nature. They're having a lot of discussion going on. Of course, they are free to do that. And on a diplomatic side or the government side, I do sometimes get involved, and they call me and ask to facilitate. In that sense, of course, we have our Malaysian External Trade Office headed by my directors here, Mr. Wan Tamizi. As for the MSME sector, Malaysia is very competitive in terms of ease of doing business. We are currently 25th, I think, in the rank of 69 countries of ease of doing business. Under the Malaysia Madani, we are targeting to move towards 12th rank. In that sense, the ease of doing business is very competitive, and Malaysia has been very forthcoming in welcoming MSME sector growth, because that's where with the new, as we spoke just now, and we talk about new startups, this and that, I think that current youth population or next generation, they are no more looking at kind of salaried kind of job, this kind of nature, more moving towards entrepreneurship, startups, this kind of things. And both Malaysia and India, of course, have policies, and Tamil Nadu itself have policies to encourage that young generation to explore these opportunities and grow their own entrepreneurship spirit and build up their own economy and reach a good standard of living in the next decades to come. So these are areas, of course, we are open, and the congregation here can always come to us. We are open, and we can advise you on how to go about to do the registration at MSc level. And another thing I like to touch is Malaysia also. We are very good at, we look at ASEAN as a strategic partner, Malaysia being a strategic partner in, when you look at education ecosystem, Malaysia is a very strategic partner for Tamil Nadu in terms of how we can do talent growth and acquisition. So that means the mobility of students from Tamil Nadu go to Malaysia for higher education is huge and vast. We always welcome them. In the next few days, tomorrow we have a higher education forum at Savita University, and the next day we have Education Malaysia event organized by jointly with Consulate General and Education Malaysia team. The CEO, Mr. Noe, is here to undertake that program jointly with us. So I'd like to just publicize that we have these events, especially 16 on Tuesday, Education Malaysia Global Services, where we have 15 institutions from Malaysia is here to look at how we can look at joint talent development between India, especially Tamil Nadu and Malaysia. So in that sense, I'd like to welcome, these are some of the areas that in terms of, when I go around, as CG Korea said, that there's need to be a big ways in terms of how we look at development of human resource on Tamil Nadu. On that case, I think Malaysia stand to assist with Tamil Nadu to look at how we can work together in developing that higher education sector on both sides, and also talent development to cater to both sides industries, especially in the new growth areas and MSME levels.
Yeah.
So I just like to put these thoughts on these areas I've given to you all, and let us see how we can take it up, and from here we are ready to assist the investors, business community that has attended this event in Tamil Nadu to help them to facilitate, to move both to growth of both sides, Malaysian economy and Tamil Nadu economy. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a very elaborative response from you, Kumar. And I think first of all, my hearty congratulations to you and your government on launching the strategy. That was quite impressive to hear. And I think we have a lot of number of educational institutions and students attending this summit, and I think that's quite helpful information that we've got regarding your fair that you're organizing for higher education for our young graduates. So all the best wishes for that, for a grand success. And moving on to you now, Kamran, Australia. In an increasingly uncertain global environment marked by tariff disruptions, supply chain realignments, and geopolitical shifts, how do you see the India-Australia economic relationship evolving as a stabilizing growth corridor? And how can states like Tamil Nadu leverage this partnership to accelerate towards a USD 4 trillion economy through trade, investment, MSME, and large enterprises integrations? Quite a complex question for you, but I know you could answer it with ease.
Sure. Thank you, Rehana ji. Assalamu alaikum, and good afternoon to everybody. Before I answer that question, thank you very much for having me part of this esteemed panel. And I must commend the organizers of UEF to put up this effort to bring in the government, academia, and the businesses all together on the same platform, and also the foreign governments. Your question had three parts. I'll try to answer those in three parts. One is the India-Australia relationship at this stage. Two was on tariffs. And three, how does it benefit Tamil Nadu reaching its vision of 4 trillion economy? I am not an economist, I am an engineer, so I will not give any points on economics on this, but I can suggest few things which I think would reach us to that vision. In terms of our bilateral relationship, we are at the highest point of our bilateral relationship today with India. I say this because of three reasons. One, we are strategically aligned. Two, we have economic complementarity. Three, there is people-to-people connection. When I say that we are strategically aligned, that means that we have shared interests and vision for a region that is peaceful, that is prosperous, and that is stable. We today are not just friends, we are partners. We are partners in defense, we are partners in trade, and we are partners in diplomacy. When I talk about economic complementarity, there is a lot which Australia produces which India needs today, and there's a lot which India produces which Australia needs today. So there is a lot happening already. So Tamil Nadu is not going to get into something new. It's just going to use the platform which is currently existing to maximize its value for its businesses. People-to-people connection, again, very, very important point. Today there are 1 million Indians who call Australia as home. And those Indians are the first level of influence when it comes to the India opportunity. So we need to tap into that, and I will have some suggestions to talk about it. So we truly are at the highest point of our bilateral relationship today with India. Coming to tariffs, yes, we are in an uncertain world, but our relationship with India right now is very stable, and it's always been stable. We had a promise, and that promise has been delivered into a partnership today. In April 2022, we signed something what we call is India-Australia Economic Cooperation Trade Agreement, AI-ECTA. And according to ECTA, 85% of Australian goods by value to India are now tariff-free. It's so timely that by January 2026, 1st January 2026, about 90% of Australian goods coming to India will be tariff-free. And what's the India story? Today, 96% of Indian goods which go to Australia are tariff-free. And by January 2026, 1st January 2026, 100% of Indian goods going to Australia are going to be tariff-free. So we need to study this. We need to study what's happening in terms of which sectors going in from India to Australia, what's coming from Australia to India, and where the Tamil Nadu can play a role. Now, talking about Tamil Nadu in this whole thing, if I touch upon the economic complementarity, just to give you an example that India exports diverse range of goods today to Australia, and some of the goods are petroleum products, textiles, leather, engineering goods and equipments, technology, automobiles, gems and jewelry, and pharmaceuticals. Now, if you pick up 4 of these subsectors, I don't see a reason why Tamil Nadu should not benefit the maximum out of this trade between India and Australia. I think about $7 to $10 billion worth of trade is happening today, and the vision is to grow it to probably $50 billion in few years' time. So Tamil Nadu can definitely play a big role here. My request is to United Economic Forum that have a research and analysis wing. Research and analysis department. I don't want to call it research and analysis wing. So, and then study these FTAs. Study where these sectors are of importance to Australia today, or to UK, for example. And then see which companies can benefit out of it. And then work with those companies, work with us to see how you can work together. And yeah, that's something which I thought I should highlight over here. This is the economic, and this will lead to the $4 trillion economy which we are talking about, because exports are directly proportional to the GDP of a country. And in short, if I have to tell you that we need 4 Ahmed Buharis to come to $4 trillion to create that kind of jobs and growth here. Thank you.
Yeah, very well said, Kamran. I think I like the last point that we need 4 of your clones, President, for us to deliver that big mammoth vision that you have given all of us. So I think I'm pretty much, me coming from the UK, when I listen to you, of course, because Australia and UK being part of the Commonwealth nation, and I think pretty much UK also offers a similar ecosystem for Indian companies, and especially the recent FTA trade agreement that's been between UK and India. I think that the first focus has been on tariffs. The first focus has been how do we make more of exports and imports happen between the two nations. And I think that's quite a welcoming sort of an approach the two governments have, and of course your government as well. And I think that gives a lot of hope and confidence in spite of these uncertainties or the geopolitical conditions. We still have hope for businesses that when we have this kind of very voracious vision, definitely I think it is achievable. So on that note, Kamran, may I lead to your next question? Especially, Australia is one of the favorite destinations for a number of students to come over there to study in your country. So and again, through the UEF Summit, one of our focus has been entrepreneurship and innovation hubs. So as Tamil Nadu builds entrepreneurship and innovation hubs across universities and technical institutions, how can deeper collaboration with the Australian states, particularly in research, because you touched upon research as well, skilling, which is now the next education opportunity for companies to look up for, and then applied R&D and industry academia partnerships. So how can you think we can help create a future-ready sectors and sustained competitiveness in the education space, especially through research, development, entrepreneurship, and innovation hubs?
Sure, I think that's a very good question, and that's something which is not untapped right now because there's a lot happening bilaterally between India and Australia. I think we need to study that in terms of, for example, there is something called India-Australia Strategic Research Fund. Now that fund has been created for universities to collaborate, research on a particular subject, be it climate change, sustainability, or green steel, or critical minerals. So that's a fund available. Similarly, there are other the platforms which are created between Australia and India. First thing is we have to study what's happening bilaterally. And if Tamil Nadu can play a role there, if the universities of Tamil Nadu can play a role there, I'm sure there's already things happening between IIT Madras and say Monash University or say University of Melbourne. So we have to tap into the existing ecosystem which is already there. And then comes to the innovation part. Research is one part of it, so there's already an established platform there. When it comes to innovation, there are again platforms. That's why I keep saying there's so much happening bilaterally that we need to do a research to study what are the initiatives, what are those grants, what are those funding initiatives which both governments have kept for research and innovation. Again, we have innovation hubs here. We have innovation hubs in Australia. I represent South Australia. My job is to help South Australian innovators to come here. So we should connect these innovation hubs, make Tamil Nadu as a gateway for Australian technology players, and make Australia a gateway for people who would like to access the Indian market through Tamil Nadu. So there are various initiatives. We need to study those in terms of what's happening bilaterally and then derive what Tamil Nadu can achieve out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really fundamental. And I think now the economic shift, earlier we used to measure about the number of companies and a country gets registered. But I think the shift is happening more towards an economic dividend, and that is led through research and innovation. I think each of our countries here are focusing on research and development, and I think that would be a differentiator in the next decade to come, which country outperforms in terms of innovation research. So having just spoken about research, innovation, education, and the whole ecosystem, so I would like to ask you, Kumar, something, and for all of this you need finance. And so on that note, again, I mean, UEF, a very community-based organization, and we believe in ethical finance and ethical investments. So on that note, I would like to ask you, Malaysia is globally recognized for Islamic finance and alternative funding methods. So how can these models help Tamil Nadu MSMEs, startups, and infrastructure projects access capital in ways that are ethical, sustainable, and growth-oriented? And especially if you see, just now Kim mentioned about the shipbuilding new opportunity coming up in Thoothukudi. So now how do you think companies in India can have access to that ethical finance to help support these sort of fascinating projects in Tamil Nadu?
Thank you, Madam. Okay, on that aspect, because touching on Islamic finance, I'm not an expert because I'm a diplomat on that area, so I leave it to the expert. But generally, I would say Malaysia is a kind of a leader in that area, and since the time of Tun Dr. Mahathir was a prime minister, we have established big education institutions, high education institutions, programs under Bank Negara to actually drive this Islamic finance policies and growth, according to Sharia compliance. I'm sure this forum, which looking for that kind of things, we can always, Malaysia is a very fertile place to have this kind of policy. We supported by the central government, and there's a lot of products from my information I get, because in fact if let's say I want to apply even a housing loan, any loan, we are given an option whether we want to go for conventional or Sharia compliant Islamic loan or credit facility. So it's that sort of things is so easily available in Malaysia. So if I look at MSME level, of course our Malaysian government is very much into Sharia compliant kind of policies in terms of Islamic finance. So that kind of things is a very fertile place for the participants today. If you want to explore that, Malaysia is the place. And of course, Malaysia is a proponent even among the OIC countries. And there's a lot of development also happening in Middle East, in Dubai, where Malaysians are involved in Islamic finance. No? So I just like to generally answer that question, that opportunities are there for Islamic finance in Malaysia. It's widely open. And I'm sure in the context of India, there's limited scope because the Indian central government, from my information, doesn't support an open policy towards Islamic finance currently. I hope they can, in future it might happen. So in that case, Malaysia is ready for assist Sharia compliant kind of products for participants or business community that's taking part here, and you're always welcome to inquire about it. We will channel it to the people who are experts in that subject matter.
Yeah, thank you, Kumar, about this. Perhaps I think one takeaway for me, I would say is, again, for Team UEF also to, since now we've launched our UEF fund, I think we've already set up a base of that. We've made some announcements around that. And I think it would be really good if your office could help us connect with that sort of the investment ecosystem to see how this fund can be much more made bigger in terms of the size and the volume and the access that we can give to our businesses to ethical finance. Of course, I do understand Sharia compliant finance is not part of the major an investment instrument here, but of course I'm sure the experts out there would come up with some alternative solutions on how can the current fund that has been announced can be amplified to help several thousands of businesses in Tamil Nadu, and of course as an investment opportunity for your investment management firms. So on that note, I would like to come to you, Kim. My next question, please. So again, doing business the Korean way, this is something I often hear when I go to trade summits, especially on the healthcare exhibitions or conferences. The Korean way always, it stands out. So many Tamil Nadu businesses admire Korean efficiency, but find Korean markets and firms difficult to approach. One, of course, I do understand the language or the cultural barrier. But what advice would you give first-time Indian suppliers or startups on how to build credibility, quality standards, and long-term relationships with Korean companies?
Thank you. Before answering this question, already Sunday evening, a lot of people are sitting, paying their attention to this panel discussion. I think Korean is well known for its hard working. I think Indians are same. For Indian startup, it might not be easy to enter Korean market in a short period of time. So instead of trying to enter into Korean market alone, having a partnership with the Korean company is a better way, because many Korean companies are having an interest in Indian partner, because India is not just a vast domestic market, but also now becoming the hub of a global value chain with its competitive, relatively low wage. So many Korean companies are now coming and trying to find Indian partner in Indian domestic market and having a business in India. If you have an interest in any industrial sector, please contact our consulate office or our trade representative to find a Korean partner. By doing so, you have easy access to Korean market. I think Korea is ideal partner of Make in India policy in India, because Korea has a very worldly comparative industries in the cross-cutting sectors, from the semiconductors, battery, and shipbuilding, defense industry, and machinery, and electronics. So I don't know which industry you are doing business, but I think there will be a definitely good your partner in Korea to do business in Korea, in India, in world market. Thank you.
Good. Thank you so much. Now I think we know where we need to go knock the door to see how we can establish partnerships. And so one final question to all three panelists. So if a small or a mid-sized Tamil Nadu business, or maybe businesses here in the summit today, attending today, wants to take one concrete step in the next 30 to 90 days to engage with your country, what should that step be? Because I mean, there should be outcomes, there should be actions, outcomes. So what would be that one takeaway for businesses here for us to start our dialogues with your countries and establish future business partnerships?
Frankly, the first step has already been taken by our governments. In our case, they have established a platform of free trade agreement between the two countries. That's the first step. Second step already has been taken, which is this United Economic Forum Summit, which brings the government, academicians, businesses all together. The third step is what we should discuss, which is basically, now there's no one quick fix or one strategy for everybody, right? So every product, technology, service is different. So one has to understand that today's global environment is that there's no market like make in India or make in Australia or make in USA. There should be a shift of thought process. It's not make in India, it is make with Tamil Nadu. So the sort of a slogan has to change there. It's a market of co-creation. The third step which I was talking about, do your research. That's very important, where you fit into this whole bilateral game, economic complementarity, and then have a long-term vision. Nobody better than Mr. Buhari can tell you that how important it is to have a vision. Have a long-term vision, long-term commitment to the market if you have decided to work with Australia. Search for credible partners, because it's always important in international business that you find credible partners. That's where we come into play. That's where UEF comes into play. And then localize your offering. That's where I am telling that co-create, co-collaborate, innovate together. So there are complementary strengths which both of us bring into on the table. Yeah. So these are the steps, I would say.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of homework for all of you all to now go list out all of these steps that Kamran has shared. So on to you, Kumar, please.
Thank you, ma'am. First, of course, Malaysia, we're going to launch Visit Malaysia year 2026, coming 1st January. On that front, if you look at the opportunities in the next 90 days, in the service industry, people, you're welcome to harness the fruit is there. You know, that we are promoting tourism sector heavily in South India, Tamil Nadu, and at the MSME level, of course, there's a lot of service company. They have wide opportunity to take up that opportunity and make a quick business out of it. Secondly, I would say, of course, the higher education, we are focusing to attract Tamil Nadu students to come to Malaysia. That also have a lot of opportunity for growth. There's a lot of room. And of course, on that area, Malaysia is offering 1 year visa free after they are finishing their final year studies in Malaysia. So there's a lot of opportunities over there for agents and business community to look into getting into that venture. And of course, another one I would say is at the MSME level, of course, we are open to, in the halal industry sector, we are very big and we have a very good standing in the world. And the business community from here always can approach here us to look at how we can work on this halal concept, halal industry, manufacturing, services, all this thing, and harness the technology to cater to the wider scope of the Islamic world. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think just a point on that. I think now with the holiday season coming up, I think that's a very nice invitation for us to have some holiday, enjoy some family time, and equally focus on the business. That I don't know how much of the women in the houses would love to hear that, combining holiday with business, but I think I really like that invitation where you're inviting people to come on tourism and see your country and see what the prospects are. Yes, on to you, Kim.
If you have 30 to 9 days, the first suggestion is to visit Korean Trade Promoting Agency in Chennai. That agency, Korean Trade Representative, has a full list of Korean businessmen, and they are also looking for reliable Indian partner. Register yourself to this agency and get some information about Korean big exhibition held in Korea. There is a worldwide exhibition. If you go there, a lot of Korean businessmen and other businessmen, you can have a chance to meet. That's my suggestion. Before closing my talk, Korea and Tamil, we look a little different. We are located quite far away, but we are quite closer than we really think. I heard many scholars are telling our languages are very similar. About 500 or 1,000 words are exactly same sound. Omma, Appa is the exact same example. So as many Koreans are now getting to know that kinds of situation, if you say this story to Korean will be more friendly to Tamil people.
Oh, okay.
But my one suggestion is for your transformation to 4 trillion economy, my suggestion is Tamil need to be more modern, open-minded, cosmopolitan. Because Korea was also a very Confucius society, very traditional, like Tamil, respecting elders, some discrimination against women. Korea was, but now not. Korea, women are more superior. So I think that's the secret of Korean K culture. Korea became a very cultural powerhouse, keeping our originality of tradition, but transforming our thought to the creative way. I think Tamil can do it, same as Korea did. Thank you.
Excellent, very well said. I think that's a very powerful closing note on culture, because business is not just about numbers or achieving your targets. I think everything as a human race first is the culture and the bonding, the relationships that we establish. I think that's fundamental to what a business ecosystem is built. And what a powerful way to close this session, to say, culture brings us all together. And that's one of the fundamental aspects. And I'm sure for UEF, this would be a very good takeaway, where we can organize some sort of sessions to understand doing business in different cultures, and how could people or businesses from Tamil Nadu can be a bit more open, can understand different cultures, and be a bit flexible and agile in their way of approaching partners and doing businesses worldwide. So on that note, as we close this panel, it is worth pausing to recognize what this moment represents. Tamil Nadu already has talent, as all of the speakers here just mentioned. It has depth across industry, and it has earned a global reputation for reliability and excellence. So the opportunity before us now is not about creating a potential, it is about alignment. I think all of the three speakers here mentioned alignment is the fundamental word, and I think UEF can be that platform to create that alignment between of intent with infrastructure and aligning aspiration with action. What this discussion has shown us is how that alignment begins. Platforms like UEF matter because they do not work in silos. They bring policy, capital, capability, and enterprise into the same room, and more importantly, into the same direction. And thank you, President, for bringing us that direction and helping us all collaborate on a common vision. And when that happens, ecosystems stop moving in parallel and we all start moving together. I think that is something, a key point as a takeaway, that we need to move together rather than in two parallel lines. And when communities align, scale becomes inevitable. Growth does not come from thinking bigger alone, it comes from thinking together. And this summit has done more than exchange ideas. It has created clarity, and that's something I came up for, to get some more clarity, because I have started our companies here in India, though I am originally from Chennai, but still I had a lot of questions, a lot of confusions in my mind. Am I doing the right things? And I think this summit has really opened up my thinking ability to show and give me some clarity of the ease of doing business here in Tamil Nadu. What we are witnessing today is not the end of a conversation, because ours is the last session of the 3-day impactful event, but the moment when direction becomes visible, where dialogue turns into action, partnerships, and shared prosperity. And history shows that economies do not rise by policy alone, but when people, enterprises, and communities choose to build, to partner, and to lead. And today, this community, the UEF community, has declared that Tamil Nadu's $4 trillion future begins with us. Thank you, everyone, and I'm really looking forward to many more such wonderful, insightful sessions, and I'm sure this journey will go on and we will have inspiring sessions in the coming months until the next summit. So thank you, and thank you, speakers, for joining us today and giving us your Sunday afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you to our esteemed excellencies and panelists for being here for the day. It's heartening to see 3 wonderful countries willing to support India and Tamil Nadu. 2 of them physically close to us, 1 of them culturally close to us, and no better moderator than Rehna Mir ma'am. I request the President of the United Economic Forum, Mr. Ahmed Buhari Saab, to please come on stage so we can felicitate our distinguished moderator and panelists who have joined us here today. And Mr. Wabu S. Habib as well, please join us, our advisory for the UEF Trade Summit 2025. His Excellency, Mr. Chang Yun Kim, Consul General of the Republic of Korea in Chennai. A big round of applause, please. Our exceptional moderator, Ms. Rehna Amir, founder and CEO, Smart Healthcare, Chair, City of London Association, London Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you, ma'am. His Excellency, Mr. Sarvanakumar Kumaravasagam, Consulate General of Malaysia for South India in Chennai. And Mr. Kamran Khan, Head India Department of State Development, Government of South Australia, Australian Consulate General, Chennai. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. These are very, very distinguished people here today to enlighten us on how we can make our dream of 4 trillion for Tamil Nadu a reality. Thank you.